Spirit. This is just an introductory to the video that you're about to see. I had, did the video. I recorded the video and then I looked it over because I was trying to look over. I try to look, review my videos before I upload them, and I was doing my best trying to get the information out, but my phone kept cutting off on me, And so basically, I hope many of you have ears to hear. I hope many of you won't get too distracted. If it seemed like, I was dragging and I get to the point on time. So I apologize for that. But basically with this video, I'm just speaking about some things I have learned since I came to my spiritual awakening and communicating with my higher self due to meditation, okay? This is something that we all should do. This is how we connect back with the source and get an idea of who we are and also whom we once were, okay? Let me just say this real quick. But one of the things that I have learned due to meditation and connecting with my higher self, and this takes time, one must be diligent. You must learn to master yourself, okay? And get to that place of being more in tune with what your higher self is trying to say to you, okay? Due to images, okay, that we all see within ourselves, especially for those whose third eye is awakened. One of the things that I have learned, it doesn't matter what color the race is, okay? Whether you are melanated, colored brothers and sisters, or you are Caucasian, whether you're Asian, Indian, Hispanic. The main races, there's been a lot of mixing going on, okay? A whole lot of mixing going on, which create other, races of people. But at the end of the day, we're all one. But before you watch this video, the main point I was trying to make is no matter what the race is, I'll use an example as Caucasian versus melanated colored person, okay? But no matter what the race is, when you get to that place of mastering yourself, okay? When you get to that place of mastering yourself and you start going within yourself and you start seeing images of people, you're going to realize, because you're going to start having this inner knowing, this inner feeling, I just say inner knowing, that person that you are observing is you, okay? Because you're going to start having like information come to you about that person, and you just know it is you, okay? Because if they're walking, it's like you're part of them, but you're pretty much looking outside of yourself, observing them. But not only will you see them, you're going to learn certain key things about that person, which was once you in a past life. And one of the things that I have learned is in this present life, okay, that I'm in, as far as communicating with my higher self and coming to this information, is due to karma, okay? And we all are reaping karma due to our past lives, whether you were a ET, whether you were a, another race, okay? Or, even a, hypothetically, animal, okay? We're all learning to connect and to get to that place of love and compassion for one another, and pretty much learning from our past experiences. And, whether it be negative or positive, we all are getting a taste of being in each other's shoes. That's the point I'm trying to make. And due to being in each other's shoes, due to the past life, okay, we are learning, in this life, trying to get it right as far as based on those past experiences we had in our past life, due to karma, which follows you in the next life. You are learning in this life, dealing with those past issues in your past life, trying to get it right. Maybe in the present, you haven't mastered those emotions, those thoughts towards other races, but by and by, hopefully, due to free will and due to you renewing your mind, you get to that place of overcoming those issues so you can move forward, okay, and evolve based on someone who in a past life You know, they didn't have those so-called issues in that area as far as looking down on other races, but they had other issues. So they would find themselves being another race, and they are dealing with those past life issues in the present life. Oh, that makes sense, you know. And it's either that, or you know, you're experiencing being in a past life another, you know, creature, shall I say, maybe an animal, you know, experiencing the animal kingdom. Maybe you had, you know, you was an animal that is a human now. You had issues with humans, you know. So now in this life, you have an issue with a certain type of animal. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because this is what I'm understanding. So that's all I want to say. I hope maybe you have ears to hear, because I have definitely, just on my own, been able to tap into some past lives by just observing what's going on within inside of myself, because the kingdom is within you, and your answers are within you, and you, the real you, all those layers of you are on the inside of you, and nobody can get you to that place except you, or unless you have hypnosis regression done, but it's possible. So I hope any of you have ears to hear, and thank you for checking your sister out, and let's get to this video. Hey family, hello to my kings, my queens, my brothers and my sisters in the spirit. I greet you all with love and light of the Most High God, the infinite creator, source of all things, source within. Welcome back. I been having a lot on my mind as far as things that I wanted to share with your family, and just trying to be cautious of what to speak about and what not to speak about, because all information is not good information. I am planning on starting up a Patreon, okay? I prayed about it, and this is something that I'm thinking about doing. Just pretty much, you know, a way for those who have been rocking with your sister and who is serious, you know, spiritual like-minded brothers and sisters who are serious about seeking, so shall you find. And I'm just someone who speaks from my experience, my testimony, because that's all I know. And thanks be to the Most High God for giving me a voice and for giving me experiences to share. Because I know somebody out there can relate, and they get, you know, your sister. They too are having experiences, and it feels good knowing that, you know, they're not alone. And also they are also receiving confirmation also, as far as, you know, the things that I've been speaking about. So, you know, we might not all have the same experiences per se, but we all are having an experience, okay, due to one's having their own personal spiritual awakening. And like I said, you know, all information is not good information for everyone. I had uploaded on my community blog it's something I had quoted from the Word, and I would like to share with many of you, if you don't mind, those who have ears to hear. This is not my words, okay? This is something that I would just, I can relate. I can relate to this verse, okay? It says, this is something that Christ had quoted in the Word. It says, do not give that which is sacred to dogs, nor pearls to swines, okay? We know what sacred means, talking about knowledge, okay? I don't know everything. I just basically just speak about my experience, my testimony, okay? But I know that a lot of things I speak about fall on deaf ears for a lot of people. A lot of people, you know, they ain't trying to hear your sister. You know, a lot of people watch me for many, many reasons. Definitely for entertainment. And for those, I can't do anything about it. It's pretty much going to fall on deaf ears for them. It's going to go in one ear, not the other. And for the most part, they probably think I'm on crack or thinking I'm taking hallucinating drugs, which I'm not on any kind of drugs. I don't do drugs. I do have a spiritual high, yes, indeed. But anyway, I'm through with that. I'm just going to be more cautious about what I speak about on YouTube because it's not for, it's not for everyone. And there have been people who have chastised me now, yes indeed, in the past. And I get it now. I didn't get it then, but I get it now. There has been people who have done the work. They have put in the work, okay? And they would come across, my videos, because they were led to my videos, maybe due to the title, I guess. And they would check me out and see what I'm talking about, right? As far as me speaking from my experience, my testimony. And many would chastise me in love, okay? In love, because I would pick up on that. It's with love, the energy, they're coming from a genuine place of love and concern. But there will be like, sister, this information that you're giving is priceless. And it's really for those who are seeking. It's not for everybody's ears. People have to get to that place to where they are putting in the work so they can get to where you are, basically, because it's like, instead of people just coming across my video and they're not having no experience, they're just pretty much watching for entertainment. And so I do get where that person is coming from. And I had like more than one person who have told me this: sister, this kind of information, this is for those select few, who are like-minded brothers and sisters. We've all put in the work. We have these experiences. This is really for us. It ain't for everybody. But my thing was with them, I agreed, but then I also disagreed in love. I'm like, the information that I put out is for those who are seeking, so shall they find. And I know that there are people who happen to just, they might hit the button, by accident, and they come across you, and find you interesting, and maybe even find you crazy. But for those are the ones that is going to fall on deaf ears. They have ears, but they hear not. They have eyes, and they see not. Because most people, spiritual eyes are not awakened for such a time as this, and that's okay. In due time, in due season, their spiritual eyes will awaken. But the way I look at it is, at least, when that time comes, they're going to remember that woman that they thought was crazy. They're going to remember that sister that they thought was out there, left field. That was pretty much out there, shall I say, and maybe need her meds, They're going to remember that sister, and woe to the ones who marked me, because they never know it's going to be their time. So I'm through with that. But I'm still mindful, because even Christ had mentioned that in the word, all information not good information. And one must be mindful of what they put out to the universe, because I'm the one that has to answer for what I put out, too soon, or just put out, period. So my guys are telling me what I receive from within. Just stay in your lane, stick to speaking about your experience, your testimony. Because with that, it ain't no debating. It ain't no debating when it comes to your experience, your testimony. People either have ears to hear. They either get you or they don't. Or this video is not for you. So with that, I'm through with it. I got love for my brothers and sisters who's been rocking with me, who's been praying for me, and who's been, donating to my channel, showing your appreciation. And I really do appreciate many of you. I really do. Just as you pray for me and you showing me love, I show it back. Like, I'm definitely praying for all those who watch me. Whether you think I know you or not, we're all one in the spirit. So I'm always praying for my subscribers. I'm always praying for my viewers, When it's all said and done, when I go within myself, we're all connected anyway, spiritually. We're all one anyway. So with that being said, I appreciate many of you. I love you in Christ. And I thank you for watching and for having a listening ear. Real quick, I want to speak about past lives real quick, and how so important mastering yourself while you're in meditation to get to that place of tapping into your past lives. You'll get a better understanding of who you are, where you came from, who you once was, and how it relates to you in this life. How you can in this life learn from your past mistakes in the past life. Pretty much, making up for that past karma, shall I say, because we all create karma, okay? And you know, in this life, by you knowing who you once was in the past life, it helps you in this life to make better choices. Make better choices, okay? So you can evolve more and spiral up more in those higher dimensions, okay? What that's going to be for you is going to be for you, okay? Only the Most High God knows, you know, that's between you and Source. But I'm just speaking from me. Let me just say this real quick. What I have learned thus far in this life, because I'm 47 years old, but looking back on a lot of my past lives that I have remembered, okay, because I have had visions of past lives, you know, of being in a body that I just know it was me, because I was conscious of being in that body. I just knew it was me. That's all I can say. I just knew it was me. But looking back on all of these so-called past lives that I remember, as far as seeing within myself, you know, it's sort of like I'm sitting back observing a person, but I know it's me. What I've learned in this life, since I came to my spiritual awakening, I have learned to be to have more empathy for others. I learned to operate in forgiveness, okay? Showing forgiveness towards others, because I too want to be forgiven, and also self-love. And I spoke about that many times of how, you know, I once wasn't, you know, in that state of being a self-love, because when you are in self-love, you love yourself, you respect yourself. And you're not going to let anybody, you know, just treat you any kind of way, you know, walk over you, shall I say. You're going to have more higher standards and just respect, you know, for yourself as well for others, you know. But I learned to feel more deeply in this life, okay, which has really helped me as far as making better choices and decisions, as far as how I am towards others, you know, thinking before I speak, knowing that what I do, not only does it affect others, but it affects me as well, because it's like a boomerang type of thing, you know. It's a boomerang, a spiritual boomerang, shall I say, because like I said, we're dealing with karma. Let me just say this real quick. One thing I have learned in this life, as far as connecting with my higher self and receiving information from within due to meditation, I've learned that, because I wrote down my notes, okay? I have to have notes. And it's good to have notes, family, because you never know when you want to write a book someday. So I always write down notes. But what I have learned is that which you despise or need to learn from, as far as when it comes to another race or things. Let me just say, I just say race or animals. I hope that makes sense to you. Let me break it down again. That which, for instance, we are in the present, right? That which you, like for instance, in the present, in this life, that which you despise in this life, you're having issues with, okay? Whether it be people or it could be, you know, animals. Certain animals you just don't care for, whatever. Okay? When it's all said and done, we are all one, okay? And in this life, these things that you're having issues with, whether it be people or things or animals, in the next life, due to karma, okay, and these are lessons that we need to learn, okay, because it's a certain way that we have to be, okay, as far as, you know, being accepted and rising up in these higher realms, okay, you're going to see it again in the next life. Let me just say it like that. Now, prime example. For those who are in this life, you are Caucasian in this life. The word is say the first shall be last and last shall be first. But in this life, you are Caucasian, okay? You might be someone who don't have issues with other races. You know, you wasn't brought up that way. It's just not in you to feel no type of way to look down on another race, okay? versus you being a Caucasian person who have issues with certain people, and you look down on them because they're not your race. You know, you're pretty much white power. You pretty much, you know, pro your race, and you feel like your race is superior. So I got two individuals. I have a Caucasian who got love for all, and they don't feel like they're better than nobody. Then you have a Caucasian over here that feel like they're superior, okay, and think they're better than others, okay. They look down on other races, okay. Now, the one over here who is Caucasian in this life, who feel like they are one with everybody and they have love for all, okay. In a past life, you were once a melanin, which they call, you know, black person, or which they call African American, all of that. You were once a melanin person in a past life. In that past life, for instance, you was, I'm gonna go ahead and say a melanin, you know, colored person, who I would say didn't have issues with Caucasian people or any other race of people, okay? Versus this melanin person over here, you know, who have issues with other races, you know, other people, think they're more superior. In the past life, they were someone in the past life that was melanin, of a colored person, and they had issues with other race of people and felt like their race was more superior, okay? Follow me. I'm showing you two types of people, I'm showing you the same race of people, but how their perspectives are different in this life. This Caucasian person has issues with black people, with melanin people, and other racist people, and they think that they're superior. In the past life, little do they know, they were once a melanin person, a colored person, who also had issues, okay? Maybe due to how they were brought up, you know, treated poorly by that other race. But they had issues, and they never really worked them out. So now in this life, they are a Caucasian person, and they have issues with other race of people. In this life, this is a time really for them to try to get it right. They are learning a lesson in this life, but they're starting off being negative and bitter. It doesn't mean just because they start off like this that towards the end of their life they're going to continue on being bitter and negative. They can change. I hope this makes sense to you. I'm trying to break it down, family. They can change, okay? All we have to do is just really, you know, humble ourselves, renew our mind, renew our hearts, repent, and change. But this is where they are now versus the Caucasian person over here. And I'm just giving you an example, okay, with the white and black type thing. I'm just giving you an example versus the Caucasian person over here who got love for all, and they're not caught up in the race wars, the race, you know. All right, family, my phone just shut off, so I got to hurry up and wrap this all up real quick. Getting back to this other set of Caucasian person who in their heart space, they're in their heart space, okay? They don't have no issue like the other set. They're in their heart space, and little do they know is in their they have a heart. They're in their heart space in this life, okay? They have no issues with nobody. That's all I'm saying. And little do they know in their past life they were once a melanin, a colored person, okay? Which we consider as black. And in that past life, they wasn't having no issues either with anybody. In this life, so basically in this life, they have overcome those issues in that past life. So in this life, they are actually, you know, the first should be last should be first. They are actually a Caucasian person that they also had no issues with, and they are experiencing being a Caucasian person, okay? But they're in their heart space. I hope this is making sense to many of you. Because in their past life, they were someone of another race who didn't have no issues with anybody. So in this life, you know, they're living as the other race, and they are in their heart space. So they pretty much mastered that lesson that they needed to learn, okay? That's the point I'm trying to make. Versus this Caucasian person over here has not mastered the lesson yet. You know, they had issues in their past life, and they brought it over to this life, and they're having issues as well. Okay, no matter what the race is, I'm just giving you an example. They had issues in the past life, and they're bringing that karma over into this life, and they're having issues with other people. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't really mastered being in their heart space. Okay, having love for all, realizing we're all one in the spirit. Okay, so that's the point I'm trying to make, and I hope that makes sense to you. All right, family. This is pretty much towards the end of this video. I just pretty much want to circle back to the information that you have heard. I know I didn't really go into much detail, but just trying to sum it up, give you an idea of where I was coming from. That's why I did the introductory to my video. Cause like I said, when I had reviewed my original video, I realized I left certain key things out. But anyway, like I said, once I started mastering myself, and due to meditating, and I started seeing these images of different people, and a lot of them, you're going to realize a lot of them are not you. A lot of them pretty much, if not your past lives that you're seeing a lot of your spirit guides. They're all around you. Okay, when you go through yourself, you can actually see them. Okay. So you would know the difference. You would know the difference. You would see like images being played out, okay? And it's for you to be conscious of it and, and focus to see what's going on and what these images are trying to show you and teach you. But anyway, family, like I said, when it comes to lessons that we're learning from karma due to our past lives, it's all about pretty much, reaping what we done sown, okay? And just like in this life, you're going to reap it if you don't get it right, if you don't renew your mind, if you don't humble yourself, if you don't repent, due to, the lessons that we're learning in this life, because that's all we're doing. We're down here, we're learning, and we're trying to grow, and we're trying to learn from our past mistakes, And even if you don't know what those past mistakes are, you know the lesson that you need to learn. I mean, you know your issue. You know your issue that you need to overcome. And that's pretty much what it's all about, is trying to, get to that place of learning from your mistakes and growing, okay, and owning, like I said, own your shit, own, your shortcomings, and basically just trying to get it right. This helps you to grow as a person and also to spiritually evolve, okay? But like I said, whether, you're, coming to the revelation of seeing yourself as other people, seeing yourself as being an animal, looking back on it, all of it is a lesson, and when it's all said and done, it brings you back to realizing we are all one. We should have love for one another. We should respect, the animal kingdom. We should respect each other, love one another. Because when it comes to love ain't nothing but respect, and not, be so, look at me, and looking down on your brothers and sisters, no matter who the race is. And not be so divided, because at the end of the day, we are all one in the spirit. We are all one spiritually, consciously. We are all one. When you go through yourself, you see a whole set of family that looks nothing like you, okay? But we are all one. When you go through yourself, we are all connecting, okay, on that spiritual plane. So this is for those who have ears to hear. And for those who don't, I love you where you are. And it's okay if you not there yet, you don't understand me, but you were brought here for a reason. You were brought here for a reason. The main thing I'm trying to let you know is, there's been a lot of nuggets in the word when Christ was saying the first shall be last, the last shall be first. And you should have lives, at least you have life and life more abundantly. All of that is in there. These are parables, okay? And parable are meant for those who are spiritual and those who are seeking socially defined, and they would understand these parables, But like I said, it would have to hit you, because a lot of these things I heard before, and it didn't really make sense to me until I started having my own experiences, and until I started going within myself, and then the dots starts to connect. The dots started to connect. But like I said, I do remember having a past life of having been attacked by a lion. I remember briefly, just real briefly, being in some kind of arena, and people were marking people who were different from them. These were people who were different. They had gifts, and people looked at them as witches and sorcerers, and they would kill them. They were actually trying to condemn somebody, but you also in retrospect, you are cheering as far as murdering somebody because they're different from you. It's like you're trying to condemn somebody, but you have your own issues as well. You're celebrating the death of others, just because they're different from you. But I did it's like I was part of that person, but at the same time, I wasn't really experiencing the pain. I was just observing, this person, being lined up with others in some kind of arena, kind of remind you of like Rome and all that mess back in the day, and people were going in these arenas, and they had these hungry lions, and these lions was attacking people and killing them. And I was just pretty much like, one minute I was in that body, and the next minute I was outside that body just observing. And I remember, just having this love and compassion for that animal, because that animal was doing what animals do, and I knew it wasn't that lion's fault. I just happened to be in a situation to where, I was around my people who, they didn't understand me, and they didn't understand others, because, we were different, shall I say. And in this life, I had like a phobia of lions. Even though I love lions, I do love lions, and I respect lions. They are the king of the jungle, but still I had a little phobia in this life about lions. Now I'm overcoming the phobia. I do respect, the lions, but I do remember being attacked by one in the past life, as well as, I remember being attacked as far as being burnt. Somebody had me at a stake, burning me along with others, and that's why I had a phobia of fire, in this life, that I'm trying to overcome. At the end of the day, one must look back and see the lesson for what it was, and then, in each past life, you're learning a lesson. You are learning a lesson. And when you can retrieve the information from each past life, the lesson you have learned, and the lessons you didn't learn, when you're in this life, you can see all the little issues that you have with people. You can see all the little issues that you have when it comes to other animals, as far as not respecting the animal kingdom. You can see all the little issues that you have, just period, and when you see it for what it is, try to work on them, okay? Try to overcome them. Like I said, these are all past karma. Instead of just ignoring it, putting a Band-Aid on it, and you're not, trying to heal and learn from those past karma mistakes, because some people repeat, they repeat. And some people, when they see what it is, they try to correct it, okay? In this life, they try to correct it, okay? So, all information is not good information, but I choose to pass it on, because the way I see it, for those who have ears to hear, they're going to hear it. And for those who don't, it's going to fall on deaf ears, and I can't do anything about that. I am thinking about starting a Patreon. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I am thinking about starting a Patreon. I still will be doing videos here on YouTube, but, if I be going in depth, about my experiences, I would be doing that on Patreon. But I'll let many of you know down the road when I will start a Patreon. But for now, I'm just going to keep, sharing my experience, my testimony. I won't be sharing everything, but I felt the need in my spirit to share this, because there's so many people who are going around, pro this and pro that. And yes, I am a melanin colored sister, and I got love for my people, but basically I have love for all. I have love and respect for my race, but I have love and respect for all. I don't see myself as divided anymore, because I come to understand we are all one, okay? We are all one in the spirit, and the race that I may have had issues with in the beginning, before I came to my spiritual awakening, certain races, I come to understand that, the first should be last and the last should be first, and I was once that race too in a past life, okay? So yeah, it's time for me to get to that place of seeing it for what it is. I'm really hating myself, okay? You have an issue with other races, you're hating yourself. So it's time for you to get in your heart space. That's basically what it is. The enemy is trying to attack your heart. The enemy is trying to harden your heart, okay? And when the enemy gets to your heart, well, basically your mind first, and your heart, it's a wrap. Okay, it's a wrap, especially when you harden your heart, you know, because it's hard to, when somebody's like me trying to speak, your sister, a messenger, shall I say, you have ears and you hear not, because you choose not to change. You don't want to change, and I can't do anything about that, okay? I love you from where you are, but that's all I want to say, family. Lessons learned from karma, reincarnation. Yeah, the divine is awesome. The divine is so awesome. We have life and life more abundantly, yes indeed, but it's due to reincarnation. And like I said, when you pass the test, when you master yourself, and you know, you rectify your past karma, you move up, you spiral up to a higher frequency, to higher dimensions. Spiritually, you are evolving, okay? And you don't have to repeat those past karma mistakes, shall I say. Even in this present, you don't have to keep repeating, because you have mastered, you have passed the test, shall I say. Okay, so that's all I want to say. I love you in Christ, and like I said, you know, it's all about renewing your mind, family. And the things I speak about, pray about it. Pray about it, okay? The Most High God loves you. Pray about the things I speak about, and go within your own closet. Meditate on what I'm speaking about, so you too can come to that understanding of whose you are, okay? You realize we are all one. There is no division, okay? But all this chaos that's going on out here, okay, due to all the different races, okay, all this, you know, greed and pride, and but pretty much greed, power, and control. You know, these are people who are going through it for a reason, and it's a lesson that they need to learn, okay? It's a lesson that they need to learn. That's why we gotta have compassion, because they know not what they do. Because if they did know what they do, trust me, they wouldn't do it. Peace. Thank you for your love and supporting my channel. You want to reach me, Qmccwest@gmail.com. And for all donations, it's through PayPal using my email address. Much love to my kings and queens. Keep spiraling up, keep shining.